fact, you go anywhere in this city preying on innocent people, and we will find you and eat both your arms and then both of your legs, and then we will eat your face right off your head. Do you understand? Please. Yes. So you will be this armless, legless, faceless thing, won't you? Rolling down the street like a turd in the wind. Do you feel me? What the hell are you? We are Venom.
Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Die, the His versus Hers Guide to the Apocalypse, the podcast. This is your boy Bret. That growling in the background is your dog Tun. Joining me is my wonderful weirdo sister Jazmin, Jarmatar Gargar, Jarman. Say hi, Jarman.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
On this very special after-school special, we're doing something with what we did for the Meg, where we talk a little bit about a movie we saw, and since it's Halloweeny time, it's a good time to go out and see Venom. Not Halloween, haha. So we saw Venom. Jazmin, early impressions going into the movie. What did you think about it before you saw it? Are you familiar with Venom at all?
I totally forgot it was coming out, and I heard from a lot of reviews that it was not going to be a good movie, but I mean, I had high hopes for it, and afterwards, I thought the movie was pretty good. I really enjoyed it, actually.
Well, funny you mentioned the review thing. There was a lot of Lady Gaga fans conspiring to bring the reviews down because A Star Is Born came out on the same day. So there was a lot of negative reviews on the movie before the movie had even come out to try and drive people to go see that movie instead. I don't know if that's substantiated, if that's true or whatever, but that's
you better watch out. Gaga fans will come after you.
Hey, I like Gaga. I'm a Gaga fan. I'm a little monster. So I don't want none of that heat. But I also like Venom. And I didn't see A Star Is Born. It's not my type of movie. But Venom is. I had some worries about it going in. I thought what they showed in the trailers, it was just okay up until the end when you actually see Venom transform and you see, oh, this is going to be the Venom the way he's supposed to look like. And when he actually says, we are Venom, it's just bone chilling. Like that scene where in the car chase when he's on the motorcycle and he's falling off of it, and they chose that moment to highlight, as a scene of action, and the Venom symbiote pulls him back towards the motorcycle. I was like, well, that's not that. All right, sure, I guess, whatever. But then they saved it with the "We Are Venom" part. Then another thing that was a red flag to me was the PG-13 rating, which a movie doesn't need to be rated R to be good, but I feel like Deadpool really opened the door for, especially Logan. Logan's such an excellent movie. I can't imagine that movie being as good if they cut down some of the violence to make it PG-13. I feel like this movie would have benefited a lot more had it gone a little more off the rails with the violence, because Venom is violent. He's a violent sort of anti-hero character. Just like Deadpool's uber violent, right. Venom's also violent. So he bit off, okay, so spoiler alert. We're going to get into some spoilers throughout this conversation. So if you don't want to be spoiled, then you better have seen the movie. If not, it's been out for a while. So as far as I'm concerned, we're in the clear. And so in the movie, he does bite off people's heads, but they kind of cut from it real fast, or it's just implied, the camera shot will be at his mouth as it goes over the camera, or it'll just be a real fast and
yeah, and honestly I thought that was fine. It wasn't I need a huge dramatic scene where blood gushes everywhere.
Yeah, it's fine. It seemed super obvious that, to me anyway, it seemed like they had originally intended for an R rating, and it was going to be gorier, and then they just opted to say, nah, never mind. We're gonna I
do feel that what action and fighting and stuff was in the movie, I thought it was good. I mean, maybe it could have been amped up a little bit more, but
that's what I'm saying. It could have. They were fine, but they weren't spectacular. I'm not gonna write home about any single one of those fight scenes. They were just good. They were good and just okay.
Well,
and there's nothing
like
necessarily
the
wrong with that,
scene
but it didn't like
where
blow me
the
away.
symbiotes come off of them and the two guys are fighting, and it's like a slow motion type deal, and it's like
Yeah,
they're just separating for an instant, and then they come back. And
that is certainly the best action in the movie, and obviously it's been building up to that point. And naturally, they can do more in terms of violence when it's two symbiotes fighting one another. That can go when they can go all out, and they don't have, if you see a symbiote die, it's different in a movie than seeing like a human die. So obviously they could show more in that regard, like stuff getting ripped up and things like that. And even
the humor, I thought, was pretty good.
Huh?
The humor in the movie I thought was pretty good. I liked the jokes that they put in.
Yeah, I liked some of the voice in the head stuff too. I thought that was really good. The pile of heads, pile of bodies joke is probably my favorite. That was a pretty good chuckly moment. That's a funny one because like if you like said that quote out of context, like it's just not that funny on its own. But then
I like the part where it's towards the end of the movie, and he's talking to Venom, and he's talking to his like ex-girlfriend or whatever, and he's like, "She has no idea we're gonna win her back," and he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yes, we're gonna win you back." And then also at the end when he was threatening the burglar guy, and he was talking about how he was gonna be a turd in the wind, I was like, "Yep, okay."
Let's hear you reenact that scene. Let's do your best Venom impersonation.
I don't remember the full scene.
You don't. It's fine. Just do the voice. It's funny.
You
want me to do it first?
You're gonna make fun of me.
You want me to do it first?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it first. I'm kind of parched at the moment.
Do the turd of the wind scene.
Okay, here we go. I'll do it as I remember it. Let me get there. I'm dry. Hang on. First, Venom and Venom. Nope. First, we'll eat off your arms, and then your legs, and then your face from your head. And you'll just be this armless, legless, faceless thing rolling down the street like a turd in the wind. That's terrible. I'm Batman.
That's my favorite part of the whole movie, basically, is when he shows a turd in the wind.
That's the second time doing this. Guys, we recorded like another 20 minutes of fucking show, but what we record on is so unreliable it didn't save, so have fun with that shit. But, okay. Final thoughts on the movie, Jazmin? We're just going to wrap it up early. We're not going to spend another 20 minutes talking about everything we just talked about. People, see the movie. If you want to see a sequel, I kind of want to. Actually, it might not even be in theaters anymore, so buy it on Blu-ray or digital, stuff like that.
I recommend, if you haven't seen it, see it, because it's pretty good. And I did promise also to do the Venom impersonation.
Yes.
Don't laugh.
Do it.
It might not be good as the first time I did it, but I will try. We are Venom.
Pretty good.
Yeah. All the dogs and all the animals just stared at me like I am a crazy person.
Like you had a symbiote?
Okay.
I remember something we talked about, like, didn't we talk about Spider-Man and how I was upset, like, or I wasn't upset, but I feel like the movie really lacked some heart and, like, it wasn't tied to Spider-Man at all. Like, even if there was just, like, a class picture of Eddie and Peter Parker, or even, like, a character whose face is slightly obscured that you're like, oh, I wonder if that's Peter Parker, like, it just didn't have any sort of relation to it in any way. I felt that kind of like, there's no Venom without Spider-Man in some capacity. So I felt like not being, I'm sure they weren't able to do it because of the deal Sony has with Marvel, but I feel like that really kind of left out a lot of heart and soul of what Venom like is like character-wise, like building up to,
I mean, is Venom taking place when everything's going down in the Marvel universe, like the last movie that came out?
As far as I can tell, it's its own separate universe. But since it's Sony, I wouldn't be surprised if they rolled it in with, like, Deadpool somehow, like the X-Men. But Ultimately, I think it largely depends on the Fox being bought by Disney. If Disney buys them, there's a good chance that after the Dark Phoenix movie and after the New Mutants movie, like there might not be no more movies in those realms. They might get rolled over into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I'm all for. So
Yeah,
it
we
does
didn't even talk about
seem
that earlier.
it does seem like Venom's world that it takes place in is kind of ambiguous. Like they don't really make any references to anything else, like Marvel wise. Maybe that's another thing because a lot of Marvel movies are thick on references to other Marvel properties. Like even the Netflix
Mm-hmm.
shows like mention aliens invading New York and things like that, or Jessica Jones will yell about you want to fight the big green guy, stuff like that. Like this lacked all of it.
Right, and that's why I was saying maybe in the universe right now, it didn't Spider-Man like disappear into dust?
In the ashes, yeah, but again, I don't think it's in the same universe because that would be a huge thing. Like it would be obvious that the world is dealing with other things and not necessarily giving a shit about SpaceX like going to get symbiotes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a big deal. That's just not that like yeah, I would say it doesn't exist in MCU at all, and it doesn't give you any illusions that hey, this might be an MCU. Like even Deadpool had like a little bit, like the first movie, that last fight scene was on a shield helicarrier, which was down and docked and being repaired, and it came out after was it I think Captain America was it Civil War? I think it was Civil War where the helicarriers crashed.
Ooh, I have no idea.
Yeah, but anyway, helicarriers crashed in like a previous Avengers movie, or I think it was the Captain America movie. And so, like in the Deadpool movie, there was a helicarrier that was downed and damaged and being repaired. So, I mean, it kind of gave you like a little, you're like, oh, cool. Like maybe this is in the same universe, or maybe it could be, and they're just kind of avoiding that. But
Mm-hmm.
Venom lacked any sort of that. There is a bit of a tie-in with Spider-Man at the very end after all the credits. It's like a scene from the Into the Spider-Verse trailer, which is very good. That movie seems really good, but it had literally nothing to do with Venom or the world they're making Venom in. So.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited for that movie, though. I will definitely go see the new
I think it
Spider-Man
looks
movie in
cool.
theaters.
I think it looks cool. I just think it would have been better if at the very end it was, Peter Parker, like reading a newspaper about a crashed spaceship that had, and obviously we as the audience would know that was the symbiotes or something like that. Give us some sort of Spider-Man reference, but that and Carnage.
But Sony doesn't have the rights to Spider-Man, right?
They do, but they have like a deal negotiated out with Disney and Marvel for like shared ownership of it, essentially. But it's for the best because the Spider-Man movie, Homecoming, is definitely the best Spider-Man movie and definitely one of the best Marvel movies too, in my opinion. And the guy they got to play him, whose name escapes me at the moment, but he's the perfect Peter Parker, so it works out. Probably hurts Venom a little bit that they can't use any of those references, but at least it's not Topher Grace in there. Tom Hardy's a much better Eddie Brock, for sure. Also, like, Riot. I don't know if this... Did we talk about that in the first part or not? Riot being just kind of, like, underwhelming for me because he has all of Carnage's powers, and it's almost like he was originally intended to be Carnage, and then they just kind of, at the last moment, changed his colors and called him just some ancillary character symbiote that nobody really cares about. But...
I don't know. I don't remember the first half of our whole conversation.
Yeah, Carnage is my favorite of the Marvel villains, for sure. So
I don't have a favorite. But
I hope Woody Harrelson's able to do it, but I don't have a lot of faith in that big red Ronald McDonald afro that he was sporting there.
Man. He didn't look very scary.
He's not. Woody Harrelson's a teddy bear. Like, he's cool, man. I wish it was the guy from Watchmen. That guy's scary. Or he can be.
Yeah, he can be scary.
I don't know. I hope it's good.
For sure.
I hope it gets a sequel, and I hope Carnage is great in it. I hope Woody Harrelson is able to do a good job, because I want Carnage to be awesome. I've always wanted to see Carnage in the movies, and I never thought that would be possible because of Carnage's, just how violent, super ultra violent Carnage is. And, Deadpool and Logan kind of paved the way for rated R, especially Deadpool paved the way for rated R superhero movies, and then they just kind of backed off of it with Venom. So I doubt that the next one will be rated R, given the first one's PG-13, but who knows? Maybe we'll see.
Maybe we'll get lucky, right?
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, stay tuned to hear other Venom voices in other languages, and a little fun thing with my parents. We were on a family outing, and we were in my father's truck, and my mom started talking about Venom because we all saw it together. By the way, she's also my sister Jasmine's mom and dad. They're the same. We have the same parents.
What? I thought I was adopted.
You are. We just haven't broken it to you yet. So yeah, she started talking about it, and she couldn't pronounce the word symbiote, so I just couldn't help myself but to record. So apologies for the audio, the sound quality. The truck isn't exactly a soundproof studio, so enjoy that. It's funny enough to leave in, I thought anyway, but that's gonna be it for us. Jasmine, you got any parting words for us?
Let's see here. Let us know what you think about the Venom movie. Give us all your opinions and hit us up on all social media sites. Brett, hit him with the social media site.
LetsDiePod at Twitter, LetsDiePod at Gmail, and Let's Die the Podcast at Facebook. Leave us a rating and review, please, on iTunes. If you don't use it, hack into your stepbrother's MacBook and leave us one. It really helps the show. Tell a friend, tell a loved one. Bring a little bit of joy into their lives. Survival tips: light yourself on fire. Light yourself on fire and get a big triangle and ding it a lot. That's how you survive the symbiotes. We did our mandatory survival segment. Well, if we are going to die, Jasmine, we might as well let's die together. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Somos Venom. Ismene Venom. Venom. Sind Venom. Siamo Venom. 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 Venom.
Symbiote. He's badass. Nothing can kill him. Nothing. He has all the superpowers.
Who's that, Ma?
I don't know. I can't remember his name.
Skillet?
No, it wasn't Skillet.
Which one was Skillet, Mom?
The frying pan one.
The symbiote that makes the frying pans?
Symbiote. Actually, Venom was pretty hilarious. Venom was pretty funny. Who knew that symbiotes had a comedic nature? What they say?
Well, Carnage laughs a lot.
I don't know.
But he's crazy laughing. Yeah, you're right. I do not like Woody Allen as Carnage.
Can't spell slaughter without laughter. I'm sorry, did you say Woody Allen?
I meant Woody...
Woody Allen is Carnage?
Wait.
Harold Carlson.
Yeah, what? Harold Carlson.
Harrelson.
You said Harold Carlson.
No, that's not his name.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson.
That's what he said.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. Public Service Commission. Oh, why are you leaning over the vehicle like that? Anyway.
And he's going to be the worst Skillet?
Worst symbiote.
Carnival.
Why are you drinking mine?
You told me I'm going to drink your Mountain Dew. I hate Fanta.
I don't like Fanta, but I'm drinking it because I'm fortunate you went and bought it for me.
Oh.
With my money.
You're so kind of sweet.
Not really.
But you said I was giving you my Mountain Dew.
Nope.
Anyway, what were you saying about Carnival, Mom?
Carnage.
Carnegie
Woody Harrelson, I don't know if he'll make a good Carnage. A symbiote. A different...
A symbiote?
Symbol.
A symbol.
Symbiote.
A symbol.
That came from outer space and they're a race.
They're outer space and they're in a race for what?
I don't know how he got there.
Who?
It said
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, that's true.
How did he get there? They only brought 4 of them back and they were all accounted for.
Dad, in the comics, Venom has a baby, and that baby is Carnage, and the first person it merges with is Woody Harrelson.
How does he have a baby?
Cletus Cassidy. They're like asexual, sort of.
Oh, okay.
He just split
Yeah.
into 2 pieces.
And the baby Carnage symbiote fused with Cletus Cassidy first, so it adopted Cletus Cassidy's madness, and they became perfect together. So yeah. And his symbiote actually lives in his blood too, so like all you gotta do to get the suit out is just prick yourself. He's kind of nut wacko.
Can we put that someplace else? Whose phone?
That's mine.
Where's enter?
Is that all, Mom?
On the bottom, towards the bottom, right?
Mom, is that all you had to say about the skillets?
Turn.
Symbiotes.
The symbiotes? Is that all you had? Is that all you had to say about the cephaloes?
They're not very nice. Venom might turn out nice. He has compassion.
No, they're not nice
No.
because they're looking for worlds with people to feed on.
Yeah, but with that dude guy, what's his face?
Tom Hardy.
He has a compassion for humans. That's a little weak, don't
He
you
said,
think?
I kind of like it here. I think I want to stay here.
'Cause he's
and
a
on
loser.
my world, I'm like a nobody.
A loser.
A loser.
He said a loser.
But he ain't a pussy.
Well, okay.
Thanks for putting me on your speaker. Or your videotape.
You're welcome. I know you saw it.
I did see it.
Dad didn't.
I don't know what enter.